My name is Nartey, a creative thinker, graphic designer, a live stream expert. I also enjoy playing the piano and so on. And this is my testimony. Actually, it all started when I completed SHS. And there was a news from the village that my grandmom wasn't well. My mom herself wasn't well, so she had to just use the opportunity to go to the village, that's where in Togo, to take care of herself and then my grandmom. So I was left alone in this big heart of Accra. I had completed SHS, failed miserably, no direction for my life, and this very crucial time in my life where I needed my mom. She had to just leave me, she had to just go. Apparently, I was living with a neighbor, and unfortunately, the neighbor also had to move out to their new location, and then I couldn't follow them. So I had to stay in a kiosk with half ceiling, There are times it will be raining and I had to just stand and sleep. This was the order of my life until I joined a church in the neighborhood, and I graduated from sleeping in the kiosk to sleeping in the church. The church took notice of my IT capabilities, because when I was staying with the neighbor, he had a computer for the children, and then whilst the children were out there in school, I was using the computer to learn how to design. I started designing using Microsoft Publisher and then PowerPoint. And then I started upgrading myself, teaching myself. And they gave me the opportunity to start teaching the Sunday school IT. And another man in the church also had a school, and then he gave me the opportunity to start teaching in his school. Trust me, I couldn't keep the job. I was not consistent with the job. I started working in another firm as a designer. I went there, I couldn't also keep the job. I started working at Mature Leadership Consult. Mr. Kofi Addison was my boss. There too, I was inconsistent. I couldn't keep the job. This became the order of my life, that I became so sad about my life, because I would look at my friends, they were all going to school, their parents were there for them, and this is me, Eric, sleeping from one church to the other church, nothing to write home about, nothing to even show that I have existed for this 25 years of my life. And that was how my life went on, inconsistency, until I met a lady who introduced me to a pastor friend. I gladly followed her, and then we went and we spoke. He took interest in me, and then he said he was going to help me. So he asked me to pack my things from the church where I was sleeping and then join him at where he is. He also gave me a job in his dad's school to teach. So I started teaching, and there too it happened again. I couldn't keep the job. So I moved from one thing to the other. I would start a business on my own. I was not able to manage it. I would start an online inspiration platform. I was not able to manage it. I was not consistent with it. I would move from school to school, trying to encourage the young people. I was not able to keep that also. This made life very terrible for me, and then I became very, very, very much disturbed, to the extent that I actually decided to end my life. I attempted suicide many times, and by divine intervention, I was found, and then, I was stopped from taking my own life. And this went on for a very long time, inconsistency, to the extent that the gentleman I was living with now became a pastor. And then, anytime he would pray for people in the church, when it got to my turn, he was just praying that the Lord will give me the spirit of consistency, because he was so disturbed. I was so inconsistent with my life that I could not just keep anything. This went on for quite a very long time, to the extent whereby there was this gentleman. His name is Miles Hagan. He was the president of the Full Gospel Businessmen Fellowship International Laboni chapter. He saw some of the works I was doing, and then he called me over to his office. He encouraged me, and then he told me that he was inviting me to attend one of their fellowship meetings, which I gladly obliged to. Actually, he invited me to share some of my inspirational stuff with them, and then of course I agreed, and then I went. For the first time, I was received. It felt like home. It felt like something I had never felt before. The people were so nice to me. They gave me somewhere to sit. And one thing that I loved about the meeting was that when the meeting ended, we sang the banner song, and here was these beautiful ladies coming all around me, hugging me. It felt at home, and I told myself this was going to be my home. So I kept coming, and then, during the years, I had developed this habit of, trying to learn new softwares. So I got myself attached to this streaming software, and I learned it very well. Although I stopped it along the line, somehow, when I got to Laboni, I started streaming their events, and then everything went on well. And one day, our president invited me to follow him to our first Wednesday meetings, and then he told me specifically that come along with your tools. In case if you get there and then you have the opportunity to stream, you just stream. So I obeyed. I had learned that software preparation, and here was an opportunity coming. I grabbed it to the best of my knowledge, and then when we got to the meeting, I was the guy who was supposed to stream the event that evening was a little bit late, so I started streaming, and then to God be the glory. When he came, he saw the job I was doing, and then he was so much impressed with what I was doing, so he asked me to continue. So after the streaming, we exchanged contacts, and then he introduced me to the national office. His name is Raymond Abefa. Thank God for connecting me to you. I so much appreciate all the things you told me, and then all the coaching you gave me. So I started going to the national office. I dedicated myself fully to working for the Full Gospel. We had one of the conventions. I dedicated myself, did most of the designs, and did most of the streamings and everything. I worked with a team, and then I was very instrumental in that convention. I kept on going to the national office, and then the national president saw some unique capabilities in me because I could use the mobile phone to do a lot of wild things. I could use it to edit movies. I could use it to do a lot of things. So fast forward, they gave me an opportunity to serve in the Full Gospel. I was serving with everything within me. And the national president is so nice to me. He's been a father to me. He's been a coach. He's been a mentor. And my life since then has had a very tremendous turn, a U-turn, and then I can testify to the glory of God that this can only be God. And let me tell you, eventually all the things I learned that I was so inconsistent with eventually turned out to play a major role in my life because I started using all of them. What a mighty God we serve. There's this scenario. The God who knew that there was going to be electric poles and that birds will land on the electric lines created a special legs for the birds so that they will not be electrocuted, saw my future ahead, and then he made plans, he made ways when there seems to be no way. To God be the glory. Today I can look at my life and then I can see that indeed there has been a tremendous improvement in my life and in my Christian life as well. So during the lockdown, I had the opportunity to learn how to drive. I finished driving. There was no car. And then, one day I was just going to a place to do something, and then the Holy Spirit whispered to me, go for your license. And I said, oh, come on. I don't have any plans to buy a car now. So what do I need a license for? The urge was stronger. So I listened to the voice of the Holy Spirit and I went for the license. Only to my amazement that the Holy Spirit has laid it upon the heart of another young man called Mr. Francis. He's in the Full Gospel. God bless you so much. The Holy Spirit laid it upon his heart to give me a car. Wow, this can only be God. What a mighty God we serve. I throw this challenge to you. I was a non-entity, but look at what the Lord has done. You are out there watching me. Probably you are contemplating suicide. Probably you feel your life is useless. I have a good news for you. Jesus is more than able to turn this life around. Are you living in a mess? I have lived in a mess before. He has changed that mess into a message. Are you scared of the future? He will bring people your way who will mentor you, who will raise you up, and who will give you an assurance in life that your life can also amount to something. Don't give up on this God we serve. Don't give up learning skills. Don't give up investing into your life now that it feels that nothing is going on well for you in life. This is what the Lord has done for me, and I know He can do more for you. This is just the beginning of my life, and I am so much happy that today, by the grace of God, I have a very nice place to lay my head. I have a car in my name, something I never planned for, and even if I should work, I was thinking, for how long was I going to work to achieve all those things? God just brought it by His divine provision. His word says, behold, I am the Lord of all flesh. Is there anything too hard for me? Just as He has done it for me, He will do it for you. Don't give up. Don't commit suicide. Keep trusting. And one day, your life is going to be just like my life and even much more better. That is what the Lord does. God bless you. And His banner over us is love.